What's good, YouTube? Akil here, back with another video, and today I'm going to put together a nice little compilation video of some of the finds that I was able to get over this past weekend, because this weekend was crazy in terms of thrifting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, because I'm trying to hit 19,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so I definitely appreciate the support. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so we starting off in the shoe section as usual, and first shoe I saw was this pair of Merrells. I sell a ton of those, but those were just a little too cooked. But right next to those was a pair of Jordan Fusions, and these aren't super popular. These came out a while ago, maybe in like 2008, 2009, but for the age, I think it's in fairly decent condition. But I ended up passing on those because they did have some minor separation. Here was a pair of Jordan 11 IEs. These were also pretty beat up, but I think since these were only $9, you know, the comps on those were selling for just about $40 in the same condition. So I'll definitely try to clean these up and then sell them for anywhere between like $40 to $50. Depends on how clean I could get them. It will depend on how much I'll make on them, but I think that's a pretty safe bet. Here was a pair of Adidas Nmds, and this was one of the like original colorways. I remember when these first came out, super popular shoe. A ton of people loved it. Now, of course, the NMD and just Boost aren't really as popular anymore, and these aren't in the best condition either. The Boost on these were pretty yellow. It almost looked like the person tried to put like some shoe whitener on these to try to brighten them up, but overall they weren't in the best condition, so I ended up passing on those. So came across this really small Sony Walkman. This was actually selling for like $35 to $40, especially since it had that original belt clip on there. I realized that if it had the belt clip, it brought some more value, so I ended up grabbing that up, especially for only $1.49. I tell you guys all the time, I sell a ton of these landline phones. A ton of businesses usually buy these stuff. They try to keep these on hand all the time, so anytime I can find them, I usually would sell them for at least, you know, sometimes I'll triple, maybe 4 times my money. Something like this, I'll definitely be grabbing this up, since there's so many different handsets in here. That should sell for maybe around $40, and the other one should sell for maybe about $20. Here was one of those little kind of like off-brand cheap little action cameras. Check the comps on these, the Midland cameras, and I think this was actually like a water case as well. Then not a ton of value here. They're only selling for about $20 to $25. This one was only $5, so I was really interested in grabbing that one up. And then I saw this this Amazon Fire Stick. These usually sell super fast, but they were asking $10 for this, and the Amazon Fire Sticks usually only sell for like $20 to $25. So I ended up leaving that right there. So went to a different Goodwill, started off in the shoe section once again, and saw a pair of Flyknits. I think these are the Flyknit Racers, if I'm not mistaken. But this shoe was also a very, very popular shoe back in its day when it was kind of new. But then I came across a pair of Nike Reacts, and these were not in terrible condition. They were a little dirty, but I know this colorway is kind of popular, so I ended up just grabbing those up really quickly. Should be able to clean those up easily, and they should sell for about $40 overall. Here was something else that I usually don't pick up. This brand, Mizuno. I think it's more like a tennis brand or something like that. Maybe it's like a running shoe, but the comps on these were pretty good, you know, selling for about $50 to $60. They just priced them really, really high, so it just depends on if, you know, if I end up spending more than $20 and I use that 20% off coupon, it'll make sense. But if not, I usually just pass on expensive shoes. Here were 2 Bose speakers. They actually had a set of these. They actually wrote like 2X on those, so they were selling both of them for only $7, and these were selling for right around $40 to $50. So absolutely grabbed up those Bose speakers. I've been finding a ton of Bose electronics lately, so that's always a good thing. Here was something brand new. This was just like a silent setter, kind of something like an arts and crafts type of thing, especially for people that like scrapbooking. It was only $7.50, but the comps are really weak. They was only selling for about $20. So here we are in a different thrift store. I was hitting a lot of them this weekend, as you guys can see. This is another pair of Mizunos, and these were in really, really good condition, but once again they were asking $20, and this particular model was only selling for about $40 in this colorway. So for that reason I had to pass. And right next to those were a pair of Iversons, but those were really cooked, so you had to pass on those. Now, this jacket, in my opinion, was really dope. Drop a comment if you guys was feeling this one. I know this particular style, like these trucker jackets, are really popular right now. And this one was actually leather, so this one probably had some more value to it. But after checking it out a little further, I realized it had like a little small stain on it, so I ended up passing on it. But like I said, when it comes to leather jackets, when you see like little stains and stuff like that, those are almost impossible to come out unless you take it dry cleaning. As you guys can see, the stain was right here. So if it didn't have that stain for 15 bucks, I probably would have grabbed it up and put it on Poshmark. But when stuff have little flaws like that, I tend to just pass on it, especially for $15. Drop a comment if you guys still pick up this brand. I used to sell a ton of FootJoy golf polos back in the day, but they just don't sell that much anymore. I don't sell a ton of clothing like that anymore because I feel like it just sits really long. But drop a comment, let me know. Here was something I had to pick up. This was just one of those chargers for like a Samsung, either a camcorder or maybe it's for a camera itself. The comps were just about 20 to 25, but I sell a ton of cameras, so anytime I find chargers, I usually always grab them up because you never know. Here was like a little collectible. I know these collectibles usually have some value, but this one in particular just wasn't worth much at all. So came across a really dope Kangol hat. I know Kangol is one of those brands that, kind of holds its value. They were only selling this for $4.50, and the comps on this one was anywhere between like 35 to about 45 bucks. So since it was in such good condition, absolutely had to grab that one up. Now, I think this is the 4th or 5th Goodwill. At this point, I'm just losing count. But here was a pair of Adidas Torsions. I was seeing these pretty often in Ross for like 25 bucks at one point, because I remember those even hit the clearance section. So for 10 bucks here in this Goodwill, I think it might be worth it. I definitely held on to it at the time, but I didn't end up leaving with those. I just, after doing the research, I didn't think they was worth it. And speaking of Ross, this is another Ross special pair of Tailwinds. I used to see these all the time. I probably would have grabbed these up if they were in a little better condition and if it didn't have that little tear right there. Anytime I see shoes with any type of hole or type of, little tear, I usually pass on them. Now, someone actually dropped a comment a few days ago, asked me if I pick up any dress shoes, and lately I just haven't been finding any quality ones, but this is definitely a good brand to be on the lookout for. To Boot New York, definitely a really solid brand. That's probably why they was asking 20 bucks for this one. And not every To Boot New York shoe sells, but if you can see Gravati on the inside, that those actually have a little more value. One recently sold for about 85 bucks plus shipping, so definitely going to be grabbing that one up. Now, this was a really good find. Here was another one of those wireless routers, but this one was actually brand new and sealed, and they were only asking $7.50 for this, and these usually sell for around 40 to 50 bucks, so I'm definitely grabbing that one up. And here was a Nikon N90s, and I actually sold this camera in the past, but the one that I sold was in much better condition. They were asking 20 bucks for this, and at most I could probably get maybe 20 bucks for this if I sold it for parts, since it was missing so much stuff. This one probably wasn't even working, so we just put that one back. But here was a really good find. I was definitely excited about this, especially since it was in the box. Usually anytime I see an Xbox or a PlayStation in the box, it's usually missing some stuff, but this had everything that you need. The AV cable, extra controller in here as well. Only thing that was missing, honestly, was I think the Connect, and I think they actually sold the Connect separately. Drop a comment if I'm wrong, but the good thing is I see the actual Xbox 360 Connect almost every time I go out to the thrift store. So I was definitely be able to find a Connect laying around for anywhere between like $5 and $6 and just make it a complete set. And I should sell this set, even though it's 36 bucks after using my coupon. I'll probably get it for about 28. And I'll definitely be able to sell that for at least 100 plus. This was a pretty decent camera. This is the PowerShot S3 IS. This one sells for around 40 to 50 bucks, especially as long as it's working perfectly fine. This one was in overall really good condition, and it even had a little carrying case here as well. They were asking 10 bucks, which was kind of pricey for this camera, but at the end of the day, I'll just grab it up because it should sell in a decent amount of time, and the carrying case should add some value to it here as well. Here is something that I didn't find in a really long time, but I used to see these just about every day. One of these TI-83 Plus graphing calculators. These don't sell as much as it used to, before the pandemic started, but they still sell for around 35 bucks. bucks. So even though this one, they had it priced for about 10 bucks, I'm still gonna grab this one up. It might take a little while to sell because these used to sell almost instantly, but I can still make a quick 10 to 12 bucks on that calculator, so why not? And this was something, the first time I ever found one of these. This is actually like a heat therapy light. Not exactly sure, just after doing some research on it, I realized that's what it was. But after testing it, realized that it was lit and it was good to go. Sell for about 50 bucks. So I figured I'd grab that up. And just had to grab a video game really quickly just to kind of include with that bundle, but also make sure that the Xbox actually worked. Alright, y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also shout out to everybody that's been supporting the consistency tees. Definitely appreciate the support. And make sure you guys use code consistency10 for 10% off your order. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Mood just to keep from cooling, like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit.